Hi, this is AstroKrys from Coda Queen Astrology, and today's video is on Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss out on any astro talk. So what is up with Mercury retrograde? I'm sure you guys have heard of this, seen memes, other videos. Well, I'm going to explain to you what Mercury retrograde is and how we're going to be affected this time around. Now, Mercury retrograde has a pattern as shown here, where he appears to be traveling backwards. This is somewhat of an illusion. All the planets travel forward, they all orbit forward. However, they do change in speed, which means from our Earth's perspective, we kind of catch up with Mercury. Thus, it looks like it's traveling backwards. And we have associated this retrograde pattern with issues with communication, technology, all the things that Mercury rules. Mercury is going retrograde on October 13th, 2020 at 11 degrees Scorpio, and will end the retrograde motion on November the 3rd, 2020 at 25 degree Libra. There are a few stages of Mercury retrograde, and one being the pre-shadow, which started September 23rd, 2020, 25 degree Libra, and then the post-shadow, which will end November 30th, 2020 at 11 degrees Scorpio. Both the pre-shadow and post-shadow stages of Mercury retrograde are very important. And the reason being is, since Mercury appears to go backwards, it travels these same degrees 3 times. So it goes forward. It started on September the 23rd, and then it travels all the way to the 11th degree in Scorpio, which will start on October 3rd. Then from there, he travels back all the way to the 25th degree of Scorpio, which will be November the 3rd. And then he goes forward motion, which is the post shadow. And he clears all those degrees between 25 degree to 11th degree on the 30th of November. Since Mercury transits these same degrees 3 times, it's of importance, and we have to be mindful and pay attention to anything that happens during that period. Not all retrogrades are made equal. Now, this retrograde is happening in the sign of Scorpio, which makes it different, and then also the house that it plays out in your individual natal chart will make it even more individualized to you. So these are some of the things that Mercury governs: communication, logic, humor, soft skills, learning, siblings, neighbors, short travel, vehicle, telephones. And this is a list of what Scorpio governs, and that's security, secrets, joint resources, trauma, occult, esoteric, taxes, death, magic, rebirth, mortgages, legacies, and tyrants. So as you can see, the flavor of Scorpio makes this Mercury retrograde much more deeper, much more meaningful. And this is how we individualize it. Now, in your individual chart, you need to look at where Scorpio falls, how Scorpio rules in your chart, and you'll get a better idea on how this energy will be playing out. Now, these are some of the meanings of Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. So this is the flavor that Mercury takes on when he is in the sign of Scorpio, either natally or by transit. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio is quite intense, but some of the things that they're good at taking matters and digging very deep to get answers, investigations, psychological work. Very good hypnotherapists, psychologists, very blunt and secretive speech. So you won't never know too much, but they're also very to the point. They like to connect deeply on a very emotional and deep level, and they tend to like digging deep for knowledge such as the occult knowledge or esoterics or maybe investigative work. And that's the feel of Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. So as a transit, it will still affect us because it highlights the house that he's transiting and brings these qualities out. Now, Mercury energy, when it's retrograde, it's time to redo, revise, repair, renew, revamp, reflect, return, revisit, reorganize, reconnect, retrieve, resolve, respect, recap. It's not energy to start, it's energy to redo. So, what's the deal with Mercury retrograde? I mentioned that the sign it retrogrades in and the house is going to show you exactly how the retrograde will affect you. But the sign specifically shows the areas of life that get impacted. Now, what is recommended when Mercury is in retrograde? So you can continue to work on projects. However, there should be projects that you started prior to the retrograde. Make sure you're double checking your work. Make sure you're backing up your electronics. If you are traveling, you triple check your travel plans, your luggage, maybe get even insurances in place. This energy can be very unstable and bring curveballs. So you want to make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's. So I listed a few things you might want to screenshot so you can know what exactly to do and what is recommended to do. So I still suggest you live your life and you do continue anything and everything you needed to. Just don't enter into very important contracts or big purchases because they may have some problems. Now, what you are not recommended to do, this is a list here, and I don't recommend for you to sell vehicles or sell a home. Like I mentioned, do like a big purchase. Do not buy a car during this time either. Any type of communication, whether it's a text or an email, make sure you reread it, double check it for either typos, especially if it's something important, or grammar errors, because Mercury retrograde can cause hiccups in regard to that. Your phone could go out, so buying a phone during this time wouldn't be the ideal thing to do because every action or a human life or event has a chart. So if you purchase a car while Mercury is in retrograde, then the chart of that purchase is going to have the energy of Mercury retrograde. And that's a big deal because Mercury does rule vehicles. So that means that it's going to be harder for you to enjoy this vehicle. Maybe this vehicle can have more technical issues. Now, there is an exception to this, and this is if you natally have Mercury retrograde in your chart. And about 1/4 of the people do have that. So if you do have it, then retrograde is your energy. That's what you were born with. So you could actually, this is going to work in reverse. You can actually do a lot of things during the retro because when it's not retro, that is not your energy. But if you don't know if you have it, then I suggest that you check out my free birth chart calculator. You'll need your birthday, birthplace, birth time, and I'll let you know if you have Mercury retrograde. And I will have that in the description below so you can create your chart and get to know your chart much better and see if you do have Mercury retrograde. Now, just because Mercury is in retro doesn't mean that you have to stop everything you're doing and sleep the entire 3 weeks that he's in retrograde. No, you can still do what you need to do, still handle business, but the most critical transit period is going to be from October the 23rd through October the 31st. And this is because Mercury is invisible. And as you saw in the previous slides, Mercury rules our communication, especially for people in sales. It rules networking. So when Mercury is invisible, everything that Mercury rules is now under the rulership of the sun, and the sun is taking over, which causes issues around those areas. So you want to take note of these dates, because these are going to be the most critical dates. So if you do have to enter in a contract while Mercury is in retro, just be mindful of the dates and take note that October 23rd through the 31st are more crucial than the other period. So try to either do it prior, do it after, or have someone that has Mercury retrograde review and revise and reread it with you. So like that, you double, triple checked everything. When it comes to transits, we have to look at our chart and see how that sign communicates with the rest of our chart. So we need to check to see how the Scorpio energy is communicating with our own personal chart. Now, from the Pisces and Cancer perspective, Scorpio trines them. So it's going to be easier for the Pisces zodiac sign and the Cancer zodiac sign to handle this Scorpio energy, because it is a supportive aspect. Trines are easy flowing energy, and they're all the same element. So Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio are all water signs, and they tend to get along. So the influence of this Scorpio retrograde will be much easier to handle if you're a Pisces and a Cancer, and you'll probably have more opportunities to just revamp the Scorpio area of your life. Now, other signs that will do fairly well with this Scorpio energy is Virgo and Capricorn, because they're earth signs. And Scorpio is sending a sextile. Sextiles are about opportunities and taking chances and utilizing the energy. So even though it's very nice and flowy, we still need to use the energy. Versus a trine, sometimes we get gifts. It's like just a blessed energy. With the sextile, we have to identify that there's a gift and take action and utilize them. The zodiac signs that will have a little bit more tension with the Scorpio energy are the fixed signs. So that's going to be Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus. And I'll talk about Taurus later, because that's going to be a little bit more intense than Leo and Aquarius. However, Leo and Aquarius energy is receiving a square from Mercury transiting Scorpio. Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus form the fixed element in astrology. This is a fixed cross. So any planets in Leo or Aquarius are going to have a tension square, and squares are about hard opportunities. So at first we're going to be challenged. We're going to have to do something with this energy, and it can be in many different aspects impacting our life. We have to see where this Scorpio energy falls in your chart. However, after you do the work, you'll have gifts. Maybe this is writing a book, and the book is going to be revised several times, and then after, when you do publish it, this book ends up being a #1 bestseller, but you had to put in a lot of work, a lot of revisions, a lot of back and forth. Or you are trying to sell your home and you have a lot of delays because you want to sell your home at maximum amount. So you need to revamp your home, like remodel or do things like that. But at the end, all this hard work pays off, and you're able to sell this home for a much better profit. These were just some examples. We'll have to see your natal chart and take account your ascendant to see where the Scorpio energy falls and how it will individually play out for you. But I just wanted to give you some examples. Now, for Taurus, any planets in Taurus or ascendant in Taurus is getting a opposition energy from Mercury in Scorpio. So if you are a Taurus ascendant, Mercury would be in your seventh house. So it's going to be relationship issues that come about. Maybe there's delays, or you're not communicating on the same page, maybe arguing and bickering a lot. So just be mindful of that, and remember that when all this is over, it too shall pass. So maybe giving yourself some distance, and you wouldn't now triple or double check your written work, but you're gonna triple and double check how and what you say. Now for Scorpio, Mercury is going to conjunct either your ascendant or any planets in Scorpio. So wherever this energy lands in your chart, that's where you're going to feel this impact the most. And if you have your natal Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, then you're going to have a Mercury return, and this is gonna kind of detail how you're communicating for the next year until Mercury comes back. If you have other planets there, like if Mercury is gonna conjunct your Pluto, your Saturn, your Mars, then the back and forth motion of whatever degrees Mercury is impacting in this Scorpio Libra area, you're gonna feel some type of impact. And I'm personally feeling this because I have a lot of Scorpio planets, so Mercury is gonna be transiting in my 4th house, back and forth, hitting all these planets, and these planets rule different areas of my life. So then you have to look at what area these planets rule and how much it's really impacting your chart. But I find the conjunction is a little bit easier to handle than the opposition, but there's still some work to be done. So for the Scorpio natives or ascendant, moon, sun, whatever it is, I really do recommend that you start journaling to see what area of your life needs to be restructured, because you're going to get the energy of Scorpio and revamp and redo, retransform. And also you want to use the written word, which is Mercury. So you want to reconstruct something in your life, some area of your life, so you can actually walk out with a new habit or more positive transformation. I find that when Mercury is in Scorpio, it's a great time to take up studying something occult, something mysterious, or even purging a lot of old items from the home, cleaning out the vehicle, especially because Mercury rules vehicles, and making amends with anyone that's hurt us, or working on a deep psychological level for the betterment of ourselves, like inner child work, shadow work, family constellation. This is a great time to start studying your own chart. So maybe reading books or taking a course about that. So get exploring, Scorpio. Thank you so much for joining me in this quick video about Mercury retrograde. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment below. I want to know if you're a Mercury retro native. As always, thank you so much for being here and listening to my video and supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. Lots of love, blessings, and abundance your way. Until next time, bye-bye.